Hello everybody, welcome to today's battle report. This was a 4,500 point game of Dwarven Holds against Saurian Ancients. You've got the lists there and you are welcome to pause if you want to take a good look at them. Alright, let's get started then. So this is deployment and let's just talk you through the armies. So on the Dwarves first, we've got a volley gun here. And then we've got some warriors. Those are the 10 warriors with hand weapons there. The rangers had nowhere to scout, so they ended up back there. This is the unit of warriors with great weapons. This is the unit of 24 warriors with spear and shield. This is the unit of marksmen. And this is the unit of Deep Watch. The BSB Thane is in this unit here. He's got the Strength 10 sword, but Silas has chosen not to give him the D3 wounds combo that goes with it, which I think is a real mistake actually. But I'm sure he'll fix that for next time. And over here you've got the Thane on the War Throne, and then you've got a Runic Smith and an Engineer. You can't see them in the photo, but the two Vengeance Seekers are hiding behind the house, actually looking out back towards Silas's side of the board, which is really clever because that's going to prevent my vanguarding captain from coming here and then getting behind the house if I get the first turn, so that's really good. On my side, I've got the captain down here, and then 5 Braves, 3 Rompadon Riders. I've put those in front of the Pterosaurs in case he decides to try and gun down the Pterosaurs later. They might be there as cover. I might not bother, I'm not sure, but anyway, that's for later. This one is the captain with the BSB. This one is the Engine of the Gods. These are not salamanders, these are spearbacks. I decided to go with spearbacks today, see how they went. 10 warriors here, another 10 warriors here. This is my veteran on a cold one, another unit of 2 spearbacks. This is my great big unit of braves with 3 priests, all on palanquins, so they don't have front right rule, so they sit at the back of the unit. Thyrocutus here, a unit of snake swarms here, and then this is another unit of skink hunters. This unit can vanguard, whereas this one can't, because I just couldn't afford both. Right, that's deployment. Okay, so next up is vanguards then. I won the roll, so I vanguarded up here. I've got tokens for my prey, what's it called? Prey scent, I think, rule, where against 2 units, which are these 2 here, my Rompadons get an extra D3 attacks each. So I've vanguarded up here with the possibility of getting after them in turn 2. Vanguarded up here, thinking about what to do with my skink captain here. I don't want him to get gunned down by 2d6 times 2 strength 5 shots. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma there, and my 1 unit of skink hunters here has pushed up into the forest. Now what I want to do here is get up and start threatening this organ gun. If the organ gun decides to shoot at the skinks, I'm fine with that because they're skirmishers and it'll be a long range. And I only need 1 to survive for it to be a nuisance, so I'm going to go up, see if I can take a couple of wounds off it, and then hope that 1 or 2 survive and just get in the way here and slow this big powerful unit down while I shoot at it a lot, basically. So Silas vanguarded second, and he moved this unit up here, just cautiously really, not wanting to get charged obviously if I don't get to go first. The secondary objective is breakthrough, so you've got to get scoring units into your opponent's deployment zone, and we're on the typical battle line deployment, as you'll have already figured out. House here, 2 pieces of water terrain, hill, forest, hill. So that's it for vanguards, and on to turn 1. Okay, so this is the end of my movement, turn 1. You can see the organ gun's causing me a bit of a bother here, so I have kept my skink captain at an average charge range, is swift stride on movement 9, and I've brought these skinks up. So I feel I've wasted my vanguard here a little bit, but there's not a lot I can do about it. Rompedons can't charge on the first turn, so I've brought them up to give them cover against the organ gun here, because the organ gun can't see them with the house blocking the way. And I think one of these two dwarf units I'm hoping will fail a charge if they decide to charge. And to be honest, I'm quite happy for them to charge me because I've got the prey scent on both. I'd lose the +1 strength on the rider's spears, but I'm not really bothered about that. Other than that, well, a lot of stuff is going on over here. My pterosaurs are needed on these two big blocks here, so they're starting to head this way. Spearbacks pushing up here, just for a bit of shooting support really. In the middle there, the snake swarms have come around on the side of the stream here, and the skinks have moved up into the forest so that they get soft cover if he decides to start organ gunning me. General's moved up. I'm thinking I might go after these marksmen with the general maybe. Likewise, these two spearbacks, bit of shooting support there. And then the Saurian warriors here just pushing up towards the middle of the board. I'm expecting a bit of action here later with certainly these two units, so they'll be providing support on the flank, I hope. So yeah, that's the end of my movement turn 1. Okay, so this is the end of my turn 1. In the magic phase, I got stars align on my skinks here. I'm hoping for some re-rollable poison to get double attempt at poison really on the organ gun. Silas used a spell eater on this, or a spell devourer or something like that, which allows the spell to go through, but then it's gone. This was my bound spell on my 18 inches from my Tyra Custos here. So that spell's now gone. It was a one-time thing. I think I've also got Break the Spirit, and I've got the Beast Awakens, I think it is, +1 strength or +1 toughness, the signature spell on shamanism. I think if I were Silas, I would have used the spell eater on Break the Spirit, because it's really dangerous to big blocks, gives them dangerous terrain twice, even on open ground. But anyway, re-rollable poison is now going to be a one-time thing. So in my turn, I only managed to cause 2 wounds on the organ gun here. The re-rolls all actually missed, which was a bit sad. So that was actually it. I didn't do anything else. Poison here didn't hit, and everything else was out of range. So that was the end of my turn 1. Okay, so this is Silas's movement phase. He declared 2 charges here. One with the Great Weapon Warriors and one with the Ordinary Warriors. The Ordinary Warriors made it, but the Great Weapon Warriors failed their charge. So they failed and moved, I think, 4 inches forward, stopped there. He's brought the big unit of warriors here, pushing forwards into the middle, little bit cautiously, but there you go. And he's moved this unit of Deep Watch right up. So that's quite a big push here. Obviously, attempting to threaten this big block here of toughness 2 skinks with my 3 priests in it. So this block is actually worth 1,000 points by itself, so that makes sense. Other than that, I think the rangers have moved a smidge perhaps up here, and one of the seekers you can see has come out from behind the house as well. So that's the end of Silas's movement turn 1. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's turn 1. He got a 6 and a 4 in the magic phase. I channeled, dispelled gleaming, but he got the rune of resilience off on the Deep Watch. The organ gun killed 4 skinks, but luckily 1 survived. And the organ gun on this side killed 1 skink, because it's at long range, whereas this one's a short range. And in the middle here, the warriors well, they got a bit of a whipping really, and they broke from combat, and they ran 7 and they were caught on a swift striding 7. So that was the end of Silas's turn 1. Okay, so my movement turn 2 then. I made 2 charges. 2 charges. I charged the unit of scouts here, I think they're called rangers, with the Rampadon riders, and they did a stand and shoot but didn't cause any wounds, so that was a stroke of good luck. And I managed to get a charge off a perfectly average 9-inch 7, needed a 7, rolled a 7, so 16-inch charge there, so I've got those 2 combats there. Elsewhere in the movement phase, I've brought the veteran up here around the back. He certainly doesn't want to engage this unit on the front. They've got spears and spears and, well, they're just a big unit of infantry really. He doesn't want to go in there by himself, so he's come around the back, and the Pterosaurs have come up onto the hill so that I can get a 3-way charge there later on. I've moved the spearbacks into position to be 18 inches away so I can continue to pepper this unit, and I've brought the skinks around here so that they can see the Vengeance Seeker that's hiding behind the house, try and get some poison on him. On this side of the board, the solitary skink has come round here, and he's angled so that this unit has to charge him and go down this line here. Now, with that, you'll notice that the swarms are in a position where if this unit decides to hold, if this unit decides to overrun, it will run down this line, but it will actually miss the swarms. That's there on purpose. Whereas if it holds, then the swarms can do this trick next time as well. So that's what's going on over there. Continuing to just creep up here with my Saurian warriors, standing still with this unit now so that I get the volley fire. So that's the end of my movement turn 2. Okay, so end of my turn 2 then, and in the magic phase I've got a 6 and a 5, so that was pretty good. I managed to get regeneration on my skinks here with healing waters from the Jade Staff. I'm thinking this Organ Gun's probably going to want to start pummeling this unit to break down its steadfast for later on. So I'm giving them regen. They're also in the forest, so I'm hoping long range forest and regen will make them a little bit more durable. Silas, Dispel, Break the Spirit. That was exactly the right thing to do because he's got to charge this skink off, and he's going to have to charge this swarm off later in order to engage with this unit. So he doesn't want me getting Break the Spirit because that'll cause a bunch of dangerous terrain tests, which he doesn't want. So that was the end of my magic phase. In the shooting phase, the skink horde here did 4 wounds on the Deep Watch. The skink hunters over here did 2 wounds on the Seeker behind the house. The spearbacks here did 3 wounds on these warriors. The spearbacks here did 1 wound on the marksman. Both my Pterosaurs did absolutely nothing, which was a bit depressing. The captain here took the organ gun down to 1 wound, but it held. And the Rampadon riders broke the rangers and caught them, so they're 2 for 2 and they're doing really well. And that was the end of my turn 2. Okay, so this is Silas's movement turn 2. You can see 1 Seeker has charged out here from behind the house and has engaged with the captain. He's down to 1 wound though. The other Seeker is heading off this way, trying to provide a little bit of support for this block perhaps. This block has reformed, doesn't want to get flank charged by 2 Pterosaurs, and it couldn't march out of the way, I think, certainly of 1. Probably could have got out of the range of this one, but anyway, he's decided to man up and take it, so good on him. It's charged the skinks here. I brought 1 back to life with my magic, I think that's why there were 2 there. He's got to charge them off, so that's that. And he's heading up towards the spearbacks here with his unit of Great Weapon Warriors there. So that's the end of Silas's movement turn 2. Okay, so this is the end of Silas's turn 2 then, and you can see that he's taken out a couple of this, just 2 skinks here with his organ gun. He wasn't able to get any spells off because all his spells are bound, so I'm at +1 to dispel them, and I've got an wizard apprentice as well, so I'm at +2. You've rolled a 6 and a 1, and I channeled, so we're on an even number of dice, but I've got +2 the way that goes. The organ gun, as I said, killed 2 skinks. The marksman here put a wound on the spearbacks here, and the Vengeance Seeker had an absolute mare over here. He rolled a 3 with his 3d3 whirling chains, and he only hit twice. He wounded twice, but he only hit twice, so that was an absolute shocker because he should have ripped through a skink captain in no time. The captain finished off the war machine. He lost combat, but he managed to hold with his cold-blooded, and that was the end, other than to say, of course, that he ripped through the 2 skinks here and reformed, you can see there. So that was the end of Silas's turn 2. Okay, so we're into my turn 3 then, and I've just got a triple charge here in the middle. I've got my my general on the other side of the Taurosaur that you can't see, and then I've got my BSB Taurosaur here and my Engine of the Gods Taurosaur here. Silas reformed this unit really cleverly so that all 3 of my models were in the front arc. So they're all engaging in the front there. And that's it for charges. In terms of movement, I know this skink captain's going to fall and this guy's going to get to reform, so I've brought these skinks around the other side of the house so he can't charge them later on, and out of the arc of vision of this unit as well. The spearbacks have moved off to keep the range exactly where I want it to be, so that's good. The Rampedons have moved around and they're preparing to either go after this guy or after the marksman or into the flank here, depends where I want them later. So that's good. I've moved the swarms here. They are able to, they move like light troops, so they've been able to reform, get in the way and reform again. So that's, I'm hoping to bring this unit this way into the middle. I'm wondering if I can finish this unit off and then just pile on this in every direction is what I'm basically thinking. And that's about it. Saurian warriors are creeping up a bit, and the salamanders, sorry not salamanders, spearbacks are at, I think they're at about 14 inches. I couldn't get any further away because where they were previously, but should be far enough that if he charges here, which he should, shouldn't run into the salamanders, I think. So that's it for the end of my movement 3. Okay, so end of my turn 3 then. I got a 4 and a 3 on the magic phase, but nobody channeled. But I did manage to get both spells off, which was really good. Silas let me have one, and then he rolled really badly on the other. Felt quite sorry for him, actually. So I managed to get +1 toughness on the spearbacks. I'm expecting them to get shot because we have the combat here. So these guys here, I don't think they'll go after the swarms because this unit should eat through the swarms. So I'm expecting them to get shot, so +1 toughness on there. I did manage to get Break the Spirit. That was the one that Silas rolled really poorly for on this unit here, so I expect them to take a few wounds from their own charges because they'll get dangerous terrain, armor piercing 6, so that'll be super. Spearbacks over here killed a couple of warriors here, so you can see this unit's down to 5. And the skinks here did 1 wound on this Vengeance Seeker just there. On the other side of the board, the skink horde did 3 wounds on the Deep Watch, so I'm just whittling them away, taking off 7, 8, 9 maybe now. Back on this side, the captain died, and you can see the Vengeance Seeker has reformed, but thankfully he's got nothing to shoot at. In the middle here, the captain and the veteran and the normal Taurosaur had an absolute field day and munched through an absolute load of dwarves, but the dwarves held because they were steadfast, and he managed to get 2 wounds on my veteran with his BSB, who is strength 10, because he's got that annoying rune. So there you go. That was the end of my turn 3. Okay, Silas's movement turn 3 then, and he's actually charged the engineer into this unit here. I think he's giving the dangerous terrain here a bit too much respect, if I'm honest, because he's got to do something with this unit. It's standing around doing nothing, and continuing to stand there and do nothing ain't going to help. So anyway, he's gone into combat with the engineer here. These guys here, the marksmen, have turned around to shoot at the Rampadons. The Seeker here declared a charge on my general, but failed it. I'm not sure where the other Seeker is. I think he's probably behind the house, but maybe we'll find out later. And on this side, the warriors here have turned to face the skinks and presumably try and force me this way, I guess. So that's it for the end of Silas's movement 3. Okay, so end of Silas's turn 3 then. He got a 6 and a 1 in the magic phase, and I managed to dispel both of his spells. He cast Gleaming and Resilience, but I managed to get both away because obviously you're at +1 to dispel bound spells, and I've got a level 1 wizard. So the organ gun over here managed, no, it's not an organ gun, it's a volley gun, managed to kill 1 Rampadon on this side of the, in the back middle of the board. The marksman had an absolutely shocking time, rolled 9 dice and didn't hit any. So that was dreadful, really. There's just nothing you can do about dice rolls, is there? I really felt sorry for Silas. I think he basically needs to buy himself some dice, bathe them in holy water, and then he should be fine. That's what I reckon. Anyway, enough of that. For the first time in a very long time, my veteran died in combat to Silas's BSB with his strength 10 hits, so that was very sad. But the Tarasaur finished off, well, the 2 Tarasaurs finished off the Spearman unit in the middle here. The general broke. He only ran, I think, 3 inches, and he was caught at about 4 inches. So that was the end of him. I think we actually missed that on the photo here, because I think the Tarasaurs ended up sort of coming around here a little bit. We'll see in a minute. So that was that. So that was the end of Silas's turn 3. Okay, so this is my movement 4. I am sorry about the confusion before, I'm getting myself all in a muddle. Of course, when a BSB flees from combat, it dies. So the Tarasaurs didn't overrun, didn't have anything to chase, and that's why they were still in the middle where they were. So in my movement phase, I charged at the unit of marksmen with the dinosaur that was furthest away. He fled from that because he didn't want to get hit by a Tarasaur, and then I charged them again with the other Tarasaur, which pushed them off the edge of the board just here. So that was the end of them. And the rest of my movement phase, the skinks came back around the house now to get the Vengeance Seeker that's facing my Rampadon riders. The Rampadons managed to pass a leadership test to not charge this Seeker, so they came over here. I'm hoping to take this scoring unit out with them, and the Spearbacks moved up into closer shooting range just there. Although I don't think they're close enough. I'm not sure why I moved them up there. Not going to worry about it too much though. Everything over here sort of shimmied for position a bit, but didn't really do anything particularly significant. So that's the end of my movement turn 4. Okay, so my turn 4 here then. It's been fairly quiet as turn 4s go, actually. I got a 4 and a 1 in the magic phase. I failed to cast Healing Waters. I failed to cast Awaken the Beast, or whatever it's called. And then Silas dispelled my next Awaken the Beast, so I didn't get any spells off. So that was good play on his part. The skinks on the left side of the board here managed to kill that last Seeker that was hiding behind the house with some poison shooting. The skink horde did another 2 wounds on the Deep Watch. The swarm here did 1 wound on the engineer, but the engineer I think did 2 wounds on the swarm, so 1's gone. Lost combat, so it took a wound. But most importantly, Silas has had a really good moment of play here. He's reformed at the end of combat, getting his engineer out of the way, which is going to allow him to charge in with this dwarf unit. So they're going to get to see at least a little bit of action, so that's reassuring. In my shooting phase, my shooting was absolutely dreadful. I didn't cause a single wound on this unit here between my spearbacks and my Rampadon riders with their javelins, so I was very sad about that. And I don't think I caused any wounds with my spearbacks on this side either, so that was very sad. That's the end of my turn 4. Okay, into Silas's movement turn 4 then. So he's charged the swarm here, going to smash through this and hope to overrun, perhaps catch the salamanders unawares. He's charged into my BSB with this Seeker here, and he's moving towards the deployment zone here with his unit of Great Weapon Warriors just over here. So that's the end of Silas's movement turn 4. Okay, so end of Silas's turn 4 then, and he has got a 5 and a 2 in the magic phase, but I channeled because I've got 3 priests here at the back, so I'm channeling on a 4+ against bound spells. So again, I managed to dispel both of the bound spells. The organ gun here, the volley gun, whatever you want to call it, did 2 wounds on this Pterosaur. During the shooting phase, this Pterosaur was still engaged with the Seeker. So on that, basically he only had 1 wound left, and my skink captain on the top got a cheeky backhand on him, and he didn't do any wounds because he was strength 5 against toughness 6 with a 2+ armor save, so didn't manage to get any through. With the Seeker dying, the Pterosaur was able to reform in combat, so I did. And the swarms died, and Silas quite rightly reformed. What I hadn't realised was Silas actually joined the character back into the unit here, which is actually illegal, but I didn't spot it at the time. I think I might have left the room. Certainly an innocent mistake, but there you go. That's why he's there, just in case you were wondering. So that's the end of Silas's turn 4. So into my turn 5 then, and I've decided not to charge just yet. I didn't want to go in with 1 Pterosaur against the general and all the Deep Watch here, so I've brought both Pterosaurs round for a charge later on. I'm not too scared of the organ gun. It's strength 5 against toughness 6. And this one's got 2+ armor save, and this one has obviously got cover of the model in front of it. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. So I'm just encircling over here, and I managed to pass my leadership test here, not to charge. So the Rampadons are encircling here, along with the 2 spearbacks and the 4 skinks. And I'm hoping between the javelins, the blowpipes, and the spearbacks, I'm hoping I might be able to shoot what's left of this unit off. So that's the end of my movement, turn 5. Okay, so end of my turn 5 then. I got a 3 and a 1 in the magic phase, which gave me 4 dice against 3. So I did manage to break the spirit off on the Deep Watch over here. So that's going to be some dangerous terrains if he decides to move over here. We didn't do very well with shooting over here, only caused 2 wounds from all of this. And we didn't do very well shooting over here as well, between the spearbacks and 2 sets of javelins, and one of these Taurosaurs has got the engine of the gods, but the BSB's got, I think, giant blowpipe on there. So between all this shooting here and here and here and here, we only managed to do 3 wounds on the Deep Watch. So scratching at him really in turn 5. Yeah, there you go. That's the end of my turn 5. Okay, so on to his movement turn 5 then. And you can see just on the left side of the board, he's basically heading, he's making a run for it, isn't he, really? He's got 3 guys left in his scoring unit, and he's trying to get into my deployment zone. So that's what that's about. Over here, I'm not really sure why he did this, but he didn't charge the Skinks or the Saurian warriors. Instead, he headed sort of off in this direction. I'm guessing what he was looking for here was to maximise the distance away from the Taurosaurs and get himself to in a position to charge the Skink Horde with limited support. In turn 6, that's what I'm guessing is the rationale there. So that's the end of Silas's movement turn 5. Okay, now anyone that knows my battle reports knows that a battle report would not be complete without at least one photo accidentally missing, and the end of Silas's turn 5 is that photo. Not a lot happened, which probably explains why I didn't take a photograph. One remarkable thing did happen though, which was that all this movement here, no dangerous terrains actually landed. So you've got about 20 guys in there, all 40 dice, and got no ones. So that was quite remarkable. He did also cast Gleaming on this unit, which I think gives them... makes me -1 to hit, I think. But he failed the Rune of Resilience, which I think makes me -1 to wound. And he killed off 3 Skinks with his Forge Repeater. So that was the end of Silas's turn 6, and then turn 5, and then into my movement 6. So in my movement turn 6, you can see I've triple charged this unit here. I've got 2 Taurosaurs on the back. One actually was sort of straddling the arc there, and we rolled a die on it and said that it was in the back. Saurian warriors on the side. My Rampadon riders here failed their leadership test to not charge this unit. I wanted to shoot it, but they charged it, it fled, and they didn't catch it. So that's quite annoying, because what that means now is I need to get rid of these 3 models here using these 2 and these 4, because otherwise he's going to have a chance to rally on a leadership 9, and then he'll have a scoring unit in my deployment zone, which is quite upsetting. Didn't move any of these units because they weren't important, but I did bring the Thyrocutus up here so that it can give some poison here, because anything within, I think, 6 or 8 inches of it, it gives poison to. So that was the end of my movement 6. Okay, so end of my turn 6 then. I got regeneration on the warriors. I got +1 strength on both Taurosaurs, making them strength 7 when they charge in, because a lot of armour here I want to punch through. So that was that. And then in the combat phase, you can see that I demolished this unit of Deep Watch here, but they've got the bodyguard rule, so they're stubborn as long as they've got a warlord with them, which they have, so they actually held. And then annoyingly over here, I managed to kill 2 of the warriors, but not number 3. So Silas is going to take a leadership test here. On a 9, then he will rally and he'll get the 3 points for the secondary objective. On a 10, 11, 12, he will run off the board. So let's find out what happened over there. Okay, so end of Silas's turn 6 here then. We didn't take a photograph of the movement because only one thing happened, which was this one dwarf rallied, which is very annoying because that takes a 20-0 down to a 17-3 just for the sake of one dwarf. But there you go, that's life. Over on this side of the board, the Saurian warriors and one of the Pterosaurs finished off the runic smith, the engineer, and what was left of the unit. The general was stubborn, but he rolled an 11 on his leadership test and broke and was caught by one of the Pterosaurs. So that was the end of the game, really. Reflecting back on this game, I think Silas needed to work on his deployment. I think having that Deep Watch unit with all those characters over here, it meant that his spells couldn't really help anywhere else on the board. No one was getting the Inspiring Presence rule. That block really belongs in the middle of the battlefield because that's the kind of block that it is. Silas also forgot one or two things with his army. The king or warlord or whatever he's called gives D3 units hatred, which he forgot to use, for example. And he's been trying out an orc and goblin army recently, and I said to him, I think he just needs to choose one army and stick with it and practice it until he remembers all the different features of it. Which I think he'll go with the dwarves for that. So that's that. I really like this army build that I've got. I feel it's very manoeuvrable. I totally see why people go with spearbacks. Because, yeah, okay, your salamanders are devastating when they work, but A, you have to get within 12 inches with them. B, they can't stand and shoot. C, they're going to get charged, so they're going to flee. So they're going to spend at least one turn rallying, which means you're going to get to shoot with them 3, maybe 4 times at the most, whereas spearbacks you can sit at 18 inches and just shoot and just carve off wounds turn by turn. So I see why people actually take spearbacks over salamanders. I hadn't understood that previously. I really like this list. I love the manoeuvrability in it. Loads of skirmishers, loads of light troops. Really, it's just a big block of skinks and the 2 Saurian warriors that can't reform for free. I might put a champion in those Saurian warrior blocks because I didn't really want to accept a challenge earlier with my BSB, but I didn't have a choice. But that's just the way it goes, really. Rampedons came in with the points that were spared from salamanders, and I think I trimmed down some skink hunters. And having 3 Rampedons with 4+ armor save kind of works. I'd like to have 4, but I can't fit 4 in, so I'm stuck with 3, and that's just the way it is, really. But yeah, I'm really happy with this army build. Happy with the result of the game, and that's about it, really. So thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you all soon. Bye bye.